Hey everyone, this is T.O. from Art Geek Teaching, where I share studio tips and tricks, personal development hacks for creatives, and an occasional interesting nugget from art history. Today is day 5 of the 12 days of Christmas, where we're looking at the urban legend surrounding the hidden meaning in the lyrics. So on the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings. According to legend, the 5 golden rings is a reference to the first 5 books of the Old Testament, known as the Torah or the Pentateuch. So the gifts I have for you today are my top 5 most used software applications in my studio practice. I had to give this some serious thought because my most used applications are not necessarily from the creative world. Some of them are downright boring, but they are necessary. So, I'm not including software of the boring type, like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, or other business applications that we all probably use. I've made this specific to the creative making or the creative play process. So with that, number 1 on my list is Procreate. With my iPad Pro, this is my sketchbook that I have with me most of the time. I doodle, I can practice drawing value scales, I create notans from life on a constant basis. And while I still prefer the feel of a pencil, pen, or a brush on paper, this is an amazing tool for me when I can't draw or paint. So next up would be Photoshop. I know many traditional media artists don't have Photoshop, and you don't have to have Photoshop, but you really should have something similar. GIMP, for example, is free and would get most people by with what they need for a photo editor. Many artists I know also use Affinity Photo, which is very reasonably priced. I use Photoshop primarily because that's what I grew up with, that's what I started with, and I use it for many things related to the traditional media world of art. I can move elements around to tighten up my composition before I paint. I can use it to check the color values or mock up an image, and I find it the best tool for getting scans of my traditional media artwork ready for printing in the studio or sending to my favorite print house. Okay, next is Corel Painter. And I know for many that might seem like an indulgence, but I still use Painter quite a bit in my workflow. I use it extensively for background creation, to create sketches or underpaintings. It's fast and it's fun. The Brushes app is up next, and Brushes is more for fun for me than an app that is associated with workflow, but it is very creative. I don't do very much actual production with a phone or an iPad, but this is great for getting into the left brain quickly. Finally, we come to Moment. I love this little app and I use it just for having fun as well as creating interesting shapes and marks that I can later use as backgrounds or underpaintings. When I want a spark of creativity, I can open up Moment on my phone and create some interesting textures and designs. I primarily use the movement or slow shutter part of that, but it is kind of addicting. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. I will see you tomorrow for day 6 and some really cool educational gifts that will help to take your art to the next level.